Good afternoon, auto shop owners and other key shop personnel. Welcome to another exclusive Motor Age presentation. I am Larry Silvey, publisher of custom content for Motor Age. Today, I am happy to host an expert in email marketing who will enlighten us on how personalized, automated emails can help your customers be better vehicle owners, which can make them better customers for you. Our expert today is Jared Stivers, Email Marketing Manager for MotorRev, which is an email and online marketing program that helps shops attract, retain, and connect with more customers. Hi, Jared. How are you today?
Very good. Thank you for having me.
Well, thanks for being with us today, Jared, to discuss this important and helpful topic for shop owners. Why don't we just jump right in?
Yeah, that works for me.
Okay. Well, why is it important for customers to be better car owners?
Yeah, that's a good question. For a lot of people, other than their home, their car is the most valuable investment that they have. And a lot of folks, quite naturally, are interested in retaining the value of that investment. Being a better car owner is essentially just that, is helping that retain value. It saves time and money in the long run by sort of getting ahead of that maintenance. In doing so, it helps form a relationship with your mechanic. And when you bring your car in, we're not experts under the hood, our mechanic is. And to be able to trust them is really important. So that's why it's important as a vehicle owner to be good at having and maintaining that car. For the shops, there's an equally important reason that they should encourage their customers to be good vehicle owners, and that's because they'll come in more often and they'll generate more revenue for that business. So by encouraging active vehicle ownership and maintenance, it's really a win-win for the customer and for the shop.
Okay, well, just to follow up on that a little bit, how does what you do help them be better car owners?
Yeah, it's sort of in a sense, a sign of the times. The way I like to look at it is that before, when you would go and get an oil change, you would get a sticker placed in your window, and it would ask you to come back at a date or a certain mileage. So what we do is similar, but instead of a sticker, we send you an email. In a lot of ways, I think it's a little bit better because when you have a sticker in your window from an oil change, basically from the first time you get serviced through the life of the vehicle, there is a sticker in that window with a date and a mileage on it. And what it trains you to do is get very good at ignoring it. It's always there. What's different about our program, or just email in general, is that it comes into the inbox when you're due for service. It's more difficult to ignore, and I look at that as a big plus, and it really helps create that sense of urgency that the previous way of doing things doesn't.
So it's a matter of actually being timely, is what you're saying, correct?
Yeah, absolutely. So it's kind of, there's a lot that goes into being timely. The way I look at it is that there's a tremendous amount of complicated things that go into an email program to make it look really simple. So for the customer, what they get is they get an email when they're due for service, not before. It could be an oil change, it could be a tire rotation or something like that. It's branded for a shop. That's one of the key parts of any successful email program, is that timeliness, and making sure that that you get it when it's due, rather than something that is akin to spam, if you will. by only sending reminders when your car needs maintenance, then it helps.
Well, what if a customer overlooks a reminder because they are busy? Do they get another notice and another notice and another notice, or how does that work?
That's a really good question. They do get another notice, but just one. We don't want to spam them until they unsubscribe or make them angry. What we're doing is we're sending email on behalf of other shops, light repair shops, and so it's their branding, it's their name, and so we want to make sure that we nurture that customer relationship, not hinder it. So that said, they do get another reminder 2 weeks after the service appointment is due, and both of those reminders include a coupon, which is very helpful. And really what it does is it's key to the maintenance, manufacturer's maintenance schedule for each vehicle. So let's say a 2006 Subaru Outback is going to be on a different reminder schedule than a 2012 BMW 5 Series. And that all goes into a good email program. And then, back to your question, do they, get more and more reminders? So, they get one if they ignore it, one additional reminder. And then after that, if it will increment until the next time a service is due. And that depends on the maintenance schedule of the vehicle. So.
Well, I guess one of the main things would be personalization. And I wonder what that revolves around. Is that how does the shop personalize?
Yeah, that's a really good question, and that's sort of that basic email marketing. And we all check our email. We all know what to ignore and what not to ignore. And it's similar to direct mail in a way. Like if you get a piece of direct mail that says "Dear valued neighbor," you know that it's probably a piece of junk mail. Email is pretty similar to that. If you get an email and it's somebody you've done business with, number one, and it knows you and it knows sort of the vehicle that you have, etc. There's a lot more incentive to pay attention to that email. And so personalization, just from an email world, at large, is very important. For an aftermarket shop, personalizing email is important. For a big reason because it works, but secondly because you can. With your shop management system, you have a tremendous amount of information, and it's all unique to each customer and each vehicle. So the idea here is that if you're able to put that information to work and to contact the customer in a way that says, we have a relationship, and this is where we're at with it. What we're here to do is to keep you on the road longer and safer. That's why we're in business. And to be able to communicate that in 3 seconds in an email, that's the challenge. So a good email program, what it'll do is it'll have that specific information tied to that vehicle maintenance history. What's the mileage of the vehicle? Obviously the make and the model. Communicating that you have that information in an email and explaining that the service, the tires, or what have you, is due because your mileage is at 160,000 miles or 50,000 miles or what have you. That is really the crux of getting that business, that repeat business. And that's really why personalization is important. The other thing is that it keeps really the brand of the shop and the relationship top of mind. In me, I'm a marketing guy. I'm not a mechanic, and so I don't think about my car all that often. I think about it when I put gas in it. I think about it when something goes wrong, and I think about it when it's time to maintain it. like a lot of people, I've got my guy. I trust him, and that relationship has been built over time. Um, One of the great things about personalized email is that you can communicate with that customer even when the car is not in your bay. And by building and strengthening that relationship, that turns into customer loyalty. And customer loyalty is valuable in just so many ways. First of all, you're not competing on price as much. When there's an oil change special across the street, I'm not going to go there. I'm going to go back to my guy. And that email plays a big part in that. And a lot of that, to go back to your question, why does personalization matter? It shows that, hey, they're paying attention to me, and that's important to all customers.
Oh, very good. Well, how do you account for personal driving habits? How does that figure into a personalized email program?
Yeah, that's one of the ones that I have great respect for some of our engineers. So what we did is, we start with just the average driving pattern, and we'll increment that as time sort of goes by. But the real crux of it is that when a car goes in for maintenance, the SMS will record all the information. One of them is mileage. So what a good system will do is that it will take that information, it will increment that mileage, and then it'll see at date 1, it had 40,000 miles. Date 2, it had 50,000 miles. So they drove 10,000 miles in the interim. So from then on, it will increment 10,000 miles, and it'll get smarter. At least our system will, and most good systems will. The more information that goes into it, and so that way, even though there's an average driving pattern, everybody's different. Everybody has a different commute. Everybody uses their vehicle for different reasons, and that when you're looking to maintain a vehicle, it's not so much the age of the vehicle, although that plays into it. It's how many miles have you put on that engine, or those tires, or what have you. And having the system to where we're able to really hone in on that unique individual driving pattern, I think is obviously really important. It goes back to the whole thing of, is this a timely reminder? Or so we do a lot of work to make sure that the customers actually do for that service.
That really clarifies it for me. Thank you. So say a shop has 1,000 customers. Well, that's a lot of customers, but they should be so lucky. How do you do this for all of them?
Yeah, it was under the hood. It's like I said before, the program, it's to the customer, and in that, to the shop owner, and to the person, the driver. Everything should be simple, right? It should just work, and it's kind of like a modern car in a way. There's a lot going on underneath that hood, and with email marketing in general, it's been around for a good while now, and so there's some pretty sophisticated tools that a good marketer can take advantage of. The way we look at it is that there's really 3 dots that a good marketing program will connect, and that's the vehicle information, the manufacturer's information about maintaining that vehicle, and the customer's information. And so to do that, what you need to do is figure out, okay, what mileage needs to be incremented here? What mileage should this person come back and visit and have their tires rotated? What is the current mileage of the vehicle? How long has it been since the last time they've had that done? And how do I communicate that with the customer? So doing that for each individual customer is really beyond the scope of any individual shop. You need a partner for that, somebody who specializes in email marketing. That's really how you're going to get a good program that can really speak individually to your customers. And without speaking individually, you're just leaving a lot on the table, I feel. So hopefully, a complicated system under the hood, I suppose, is a long answer to a short question.
So I have a feeling that not everybody can do this. Is that correct?
Yeah, yeah, and that was I sort of alluded to that. There's a like I said, email marketing has been around for a while, and so there are some pretty simple solutions, constant contacts, stuff like that, where you could go out, collect email addresses, and send out a note to your customers or a coupon or what have you. The limitation with that is, it's a one size fits all, and typically, with especially in the aftermarket business, where vehicles are different ages, driving habits are different, there's different makes and models, you just can't put that one-size-fits-all solution on. And so you really need a partner to be able to help communicate the different needs that different customers have. And there's some good ones out there, for sure. And what we found in our business is that it does work. It does pay for itself very quickly. And it's really, I guess what I'm trying to communicate is that email in general. There's a lot of buzz around different technologies, the mobile phones and smartphones and things like that. But email really still is the killer app. People they look at their inbox first thing in the morning, and they check it throughout the day. And so really, if there's one thing that I want to sort of leave the audience here with, is that investing in email and investing that as a marketing channel, I think you'll get your money out of it, honestly. And I'm not just saying that because I work in email.
Well, you've answered all the questions that I have, but is there anything else that maybe I did not ask you that you would like to comment on?
Well, I think just one last thing is that email won't replace all your marketing. I think it's most effective when it's done in conjunction. So, I would advise as a marketing person, don't quit direct mail if that's a big part of what you're doing right now. You might want to supplement it with email. One of the great things about email is that while there's a cost to get set up, obviously it's not completely free. The cost of sending email is it's extraordinarily low. There's no postage, so that's good. But using it, perhaps your advertising in the yellow pages or some other things, it's part of the whole marketing puzzle. And I think it's an essential part, but it is part, and so I did want to mention that.
Well, thanks, Jared. Really appreciate you being on today. A lot of great information here. I think everyone has a better understanding of how personalized automated emails can help shop customers be better vehicle owners, and in the process, increase car counts and revenue for the shops. So I guess that's what it's all about. So thanks again.
All right. Well, thank you for your time. It was a pleasure to be here.
All right. Well, thank you, everyone who joined us today. And for those of you that are looking for more information on email marketing, go to motoshop.com/motorev. Again, that's motoshop.com/motorev. And a phone number for those that you would rather call, it's 855-770-MOTO, M-O-T-O. Again, thanks, Jared. And again, thanks to all of our viewers. And until next time, this is Larry Silvey with Motor Age. Take care.